38 years of laying paralyzed on a mat. Jesus approached this man with what I imagine to be a stern but compassionate look in his eye and asked him, "Do you want to get well?" An odd question to ask someone in that type of condition. He didn't ask if he was okay or if he needed help. He asked him, "Do you want to get well?" Maybe while he stared at the man who laid there for 38 years, he could not help but think back to the Israelites who also wandered in the wilderness for 38 years. Paralyzed not physically, but with fear, excuses, self-doubt, and unbelief. I'm sure they could have been asked the same question. Do you even want to inherit the promised land? You see, soldiers, what you and I, the man that lay on the mat, and the Israelites that wandered in the wilderness have in common is this: that we forget that faith without action is dead. Dreams without steps towards them are just a good night's rest. We forget that the promised land, though given, though dreamt of, though promised, must still be conquered. So why is it that so many lay paralyzed and disabled with inaction instead of pursuing their dreams and their goals? They lay there looking for the right time to act, wondering and waiting for something to happen. The harsh truth is that it is not opportunity that evades them, it is their mentality that enslaves them. Harsh to say, but it must be seen for what it is. Though the Israelites who wandered in the wilderness had been recently freed from the physical slavery they were in by the hands of the Egyptians, they were still plagued by the chains of mental slavery. Instead of taking action, they complained and grumbled. Instead of having faith, they were held back by fear. Instead of seeing what could be, they only saw what could go wrong. They were still shackled by mental chains. You see, soldiers, most people would never admit to themselves that their lives are ruled by fear, excuses, and self-doubt. They would rather deceive themselves, cover up the bitter taste of reality with sweet lies, but the truth can be too harsh to stomach. Always armed with excuses and reasons, they say there's a time for this and a time for that, a time to wait and a time to act, a time for peace and a time for war. But be wary lest your wisdom be a front for a lack of faith, your calculated passivity a disguise for doubt. Many claim they are waiting for God to fight their battles, yet will not even raise their sword in faith. And so, because we refuse to face the truth, we lay paralyzed by our own minds. Because we refuse to conquer our purpose, we create a wilderness for ourselves. We wander in the wilderness of excuses that we have made. But how long will you lay there on that mat, soldier? Again, do you even want to get well? Do you even want to achieve your goal? Do you even want to live out your dream? Your purpose cries out. How long will you wander in the wilderness of your comfort zone, soldier? 5 years, 10 years, 38 years. All your life until the fruit of opportunity has expired when you try to pick it. The time to rise is now, soldier. Just as Jesus commanded the paralyzed man laying on that mat to rise, take up his mat and walk, you also must rise, take up your mat of excuses and walk. Just as Joshua was commanded to lead the Israelites, you also must be strong and courageous and take the land that was promised to you. And so you must rise from your passivity and pursue your purpose with the fire of determination in your eyes. Henry Ford once said, "Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Therefore forget not that faith, true faith, is always accompanied by action. Go forth and fight for your dreams with faith. Let your perspective serve you. Push forward with action, with boldness, one step at a time, not in perfection, but in relentless pursuit. Go to war, soldier, against your obstacles, against your challenges until you are victorious. And before long, the land that was only a promise, only a dream, will become your reality." Stay savage.